Nick Daez Podcast.
It's been a long time. I think the last time we spoke was in the pandemic, like the podcast, like
Too long.
2 years ago, bro. 2 years ago.
Wow.
It's a long
Wow.
time. It's a long time. I've seen how your life has been progressing the past 2 years, and you've had a lot of change. But I
Do you
want to
see it
start
from
off.
afar?
I see it from afar, man, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty inspiring, honestly. Like your big
Huh.
move. But I want
Yeah.
to start where you are right now first, because I feel like
Okay.
we'll be able to connect it with all of the changes.
Sure.
Being a new dad, like
Mhm.
it's so fresh. I just want to see where you're at. Like, what are the feelings and thoughts that are all coming up now that you have a child in your life?
Well, first of all, we're super, super happy that it's a healthy, happy baby. It's still just sinking in. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's just magic, you know?
It is. It is. It's one of those things
Mm.
you can't. You have to go. You have to go through it to really know what it's like. You can't really talk about it, and you won't get it. You
Yeah.
won't get it. But like,
Yeah.
congrats to you and Cam again.
Thank
Like
you.
it's a journey will keep unfolding, bro. I've been hearing a lot of like great feedback on your vlogs from people I know. Like random people would just say it's like JP stuff super cool. Like now I love watching it, and I think I have a pretty deep appreciation for your journey towards that, man.
You started it.
In the same journey, but you continued it. You evolved it.
I still remember what you told me in Lanuza. I asked you this. I said, "Are you gonna direct me?" And you said, "Just do your thing, and we'll capture it." And I've always since then, I always stand by that motto
Yeah.
and and that mindset and approach. So yeah, thanks to you. I mean, you guys are part of my journey, and I can't believe you telling me that your friends. It's kind of because it's strange because it's so random. It's
Mm,
that, and I always like make it a point that there's a why in why
mm,
I do it or in how we do it.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, of course, it's nice to have a lot of views and all, but at the same time, parang baka niloloko mo lang sarili mo kung you don't do
Mm,
it for the
yeah.
you don't do it for the right reason.
Your
Yeah.
reason needs to be there needs to be a why for sure, and I see that it comes out in the stuff you make. And if I remember correctly, you started doing the vlogs during the pandemic to
Correct.
share what you guys were doing. Like cooking for the ones that needed basically like
Yeah.
comfort and food. But
Yeah.
you've continued, and I want to ask you actually about what was the inspiration behind, because like I like that style, the style that you're doing, wherein there's no music, it's your POV, you're talking to the cam, it's a very simple edit, like it's just very natural. I don't know if you've ever seen those Japan YouTube videos wherein it's just them cooking from like start to finish, and it's all ambient sound lang.
And they don't
Like
even talk. They don't even say
don't even
anything.
talk. But like, where did you get your inspiration for that kind of content?
Someone told me today, why don't I get a proper camera or a tripod? Then I told her, parang baka maging vlogger na ako eh. I mean, there's nothing
Mm,
wrong with, pero I guess there's nothing wrong with being a vlogger. I am. But parang with me naman, parang I just really want to share the story as a person or
yeah, yeah.
or say if I'm in a kitchen and I'm talking about like cooking, maybe I just want to share it as a chef. And actually, the most recent one that I just uploaded, it was so random. It was just us cooking late at night at home with the household helps. And yung camera woman ko, si Maye, tabingi pa yung kanyang, and then,
Yeah,
pero it
yeah,
became, and it worked out, right? I mean,
yeah.
when I was, after that, that cooking, thing, that was actually a few days ago. I asked myself, shoots, baka pangit yung video na yan because, tabingi. And then it actually worked out.
Yeah,
Like, it was actually quite, amusing.
yeah, yeah,
Tao
yeah,
lang.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No, I think that I resonate with that a lot. You know how much work it takes to get a video done, like a highly well produced video. There's a lot of
yeah,
effort, but at the core of it, naman is the story and the intention to share
right, right,
and to inspire
right.
people. with all
Yeah.
these experiences that you have, the people that you meet, the food that you eat.
Mm,
And
mm,
which brings me to your journey. Like I don't think we've talked about this. Like I just saw that you were moving to Dubai. You're going back and forth, and you eventually moved and put up your restaurant. But maybe you can share your story, why you moved, what it was
mm.
like.
During the pandemic, we everyone was itching to travel, and we had that opportunity to do a pop-up with a local hotel group. And when we got there, we realized that, oh my God, there's so many Filipinos here, and they were longing for something different or something more. They were longing for home. They were longing for elevated Filipino food. So Camille and I, we were so surprised and actually grateful for the warm welcome, and they were so supportive. Then we realized when we were there that shoots, there's no one really. I mean, I think Filipino food is good and it needs to be reintroduced. So fast forward here, I mean, we have Kooya, and it is that restaurant. It's an casual, somehow I say elevated because it's not. There's no shortcuts. Uh, I mean, the reason why we cook that way is because we want to prove to our kabayans and to non-kabayans that our food is good.
Mm,
And when we start believing in that, then you have a revolution. And I guess to answer your question, Nikki, that's why we're there. Because I think it's always overlooked, Dubai or the Middle East. Everyone goes to North America or Australia, wherever. But the Middle East is always like, okay lang, whatever.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, and Dubai is a place that is so open. There's, I mean, everyone's not from there. So it's such a diverse place. And for me as a Filipino chef, it's a perfect place to learn and to jumpstart also and to, I guess, eventually lift off.
mm. It's just
Yeah.
I can see that. Like it's like a leap of faith, then, diba? Like
Yeah.
big, big risk, but also big purpose on your
Yeah,
end.
because deep down, I know. Deep down, it's not easy, or it wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but deep down, I know that, we can do it. We can
Yeah, yeah. There's belief. The
move
belief is
forward.
there talaga. I was asking my partner this, like, how does JP juggle having a restaurant in the Philippines, having a restaurant in Dubai, and doing
Mhm.
multiple things at the same time? Like, how do you? I mean, what's your compass with stuff like that, and being able to handle all that and thrive?
Through the years, you've made mistakes. I've closed restaurants. I guess just picking the right people, training your people to buy in a certain work culture, then execute as a team. Then you can sort of like juggle things.
Mm,
So if you have that, then I guess at least for me, I'm more mobile. And the other part, the social media part, it's really just if there's a moment, and then uy, okay to, okay to. Let's share this moment. But I always make a rule. I have this rule that let's not exploit the moment as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Like it's a tricky thing, social media. Like you're sharing your life, but you could also, I guess, in a way, blow it out of proportion, make it
You can
seem,
oversell it.
yeah, you could oversell it exactly and
Yeah.
sensationalize it. Like it's really cool, like what you've been doing,
Thank you.
with all your pursuits, and especially since I've known you a long time and I've seen a lot of the progression, and fear doesn't seem to stop you. But how do you navigate fear? Like, what are
Dude,
your
I feel
you
dude,
do?
I feel like I'm talking to Tita Tina right now, grabe, but in a podcast.
I
Dude, stop
mean,
it. Baka I might just call you every now and then.
but I mean, like, I'm really curious because these are difficult things. Difficult, but I know you're really into them and you're passionate about them. Because not a lot of people are doing what you're doing. Most people are scared. Most people are anxious about trying new things, taking leaps of faith. How do you manage? Like, what do you do?
I guess ever since I've always been like that Mamba mentality that the more you doubt me, the more I'll prove you wrong. Or sometimes I just don't think, Nix, and just I just go for it. If you feel, it's like it's like surfing. Sometimes you just know. You just know. It's either you fall or you stand up. The
It's
dalawa
true.
lang yan. And
It's
then
true.
if you fall, then you get up. You get back up again.
Can you
So
share a
I
moment
guess.
that when you fell, that really felt like, damn, what a wipeout, like in life, that you
Oh
feel,
yeah.
then you came back and like, no, the learning was there.
One time whew, I had to present in a like a local culinary event, and I really fucked it up on stage. It was so bad. I wasn't ready. I normally don't get I normally don't panic, but then that incident I panicked. Fast forward, I had this opportunity to represent the Philippines in it's
Okay.
called San Sebastian Gastronomica San Sebastian, very very prestigious cooking convention in San Sebastian. So like the Oscars of cooking, parang ganun. So yun, I represented and I rocked because I really really prepared for it. I wanted to redeem myself,
Yeah.
and for
Yeah.
me that was the proudest moment of my life. But what led to that proud moment was that really bad incident.
Yeah. 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 No, thanks for sharing that, man. That's really a testament to learning from failure, then finding redemption in an opportunity given again, about to present.
Yeah.
Right now you're in a place where there's you have a lot of responsibilities. You have your businesses, you have a child now. What are things in your life that you really value, that are things that make you feel relaxed or make you feel like decompress? Like, what are the things you turn to now to help you feel sane or just content, happy?
I think my wife, she is my core, my anchor, ang baduya, my everything.
Hmm.
But I mean that. I mean that. I am who I am right now because of her. I guess I just needed that balance. Sige, simplihan na lang natin. I just needed the right tire to move. And that's her. And of course now my son. Uh, Again, get back to me after a month because it's just really sinking in. I guess my family, which is my wife and my son and our dog, Chuleta.
Yeah, yeah. That's the funny thing, right? Even if you're gaining success, gaining recognition, at the end of the day, it's the simple things, right? Being with family, eating a good meal. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot to still achieve, but you know where you feel loved and nurtured and where you can just be yourself and not have to
Yeah.
like perform for other people.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? Do you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that this conversation is sort of like one of my biggest affirmations of the month? No,
What do you
really.
mean?
Like what you said, I just go, go, go. But then I'm only human and my love language is words of affirmation. And when I hear it from someone, especially from people I respect and look up to and value, makes my day.
It's interesting to have a conversation with you. We haven't spoken in a long time. So I've only been seeing you from afar from social media. And it looks, you see the stories, the posts, but I'll never know what it's like for you. And I'm hearing it from you now, right? Like the challenges, and it's a challenge to be vulnerable. It hurts to like see negative comments, and like you have to be you have to take action. These things are like,
Mhm.
it's a behind the scenes, diba? And no
Right.
one will really know. That's why for me it's really interesting to have uh to find to discover it from you, to share
Mhm.
like where you're at, diba?
Mhm.
And like even you mentioning your love language as words of affirmations, like, I mean, if people knew that, they would treat you differently rin, diba? Like if your staff knew that, they would probably say things rin, like, oh, chef, like, parang you look great today, parang you were really impressive in the kitchen. I mean, because we I think that's the thing. There's a lack of vulnerability sometimes when it comes to interactions with
Mhm.
the people, I guess, that we don't really know well, because we don't really allow that line to be crossed to share na, hey, I appreciate, like these kinds of affirmations, like how about you? Like what helps you ba? Diba? Like being human lang, like, and I think that's no, it's just really, I'm glad that you shared that. I think it's a really it's very vulnerable, and I think more people, I guess, should allow themselves to feel that way instead of like, okay lang ako, diba? Or hey, I appreciated that comment. And I think I'm curious, man. Like, you've been traveling a lot, doing a lot of pop-ups around the world, and
Uh-huh.
we were traveling a lot before, when we were
Oh
doing
yeah.
Hungry, and
Yep.
it's a sort of like I guess, parang like may pagka foreshadowing of like it's about to it's gonna get even more expansive, right? And I'm curious about like I guess your insights from all these experiences, and what are some of the memorable ones that you feel that really like, wow, this is what a beautiful life, this is.
I guess as a chef, it was being able to, travel to cook Filipino food, being able to cook with all these great chefs around the world that you learn from and get inspiration from is just a beautiful thing. And I can't believe that, I have this opportunity to jam with the big boys, to, flex Filipino food around the world. It's, it's been a ride, yeah. And it's been beautiful. There's too many. New York, Mexico, Paris, recently in Tokyo. All of those places were special besides us learning from each other, but also like seeing different facets of Filipino food and seeing different expressions on how they taste our food from people from around the world. It's mind blowing. It's sobrang kilig.
Mm,
Like
mm.
yeah, so like in Tokyo, I was so giddy. I had to control it because I couldn't believe that they were like all these like sophisticated foodies, were liking the way we were cooking, depending on the theme or like what we're dealt with in terms of kitchen, staff, ingredients. Parang the beautiful thing about it is just like how we did Hungry, before. I remember again in Lanuza, we used all the ingredients na. And remember we used 3-in-1 coffee
Yeah, we
to
did, we did.
so
I remember
it's
that.
it's it's still the same mix. It's still the same process of being somehow resourceful and dynamic. But the beautiful thing about it is that you get to share it with other people. Also, the cuisine is, maturing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. What made you wanna do all these collaborations, like with these chefs around the world? Like, I guess, what was the idea behind that? Like, did you just like, hey, let's reach out, or what prompted you to collaborate with all these chefs and to travel to them, diba?
They always invite you. Say the most recent one in Tokyo, the Italian chef and his Ilongo sous chef that happens to be from my hometown. They were at Kooya in Dubai because they had a pop-up there. So they went to eat Filipino food. And then the Italian chef goes, we should put this on a pizza. Let's do it. Tokyo. Number number one pizzeria in Asia. Number three in the world. Grabe, I'm like, chef, are you serious? Chef, you're Italian. You sure? Yes, let's do it. Come on.
I'm in a similar place in my life wherein I wanna really like integrate, fuse everything.
Mhm.
Chuleta. Huh. What do you call this? So cute. Filmmaking, art,
Yeah.
meditation, wellness, and do it not just in the Philippines, but like around the world, like share it with
Uh-huh.
different people. And if someone asks me how do you do that? How do you reach out? It's a dance of reaching out and people reaching out to you to collaborate
Yes.
because
Correct.
they see something in you, or I see something in them that sparks an idea. And
Correct.
it's really cool that that's how it's happening. The creativity is moving through you and moving through other people, and you're just fusing them together. And that's super
Yeah.
cool. I don't think people realize the power of giving and sharing.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And what you're doing with social media, but also with, I guess, the people in your life, people that you feed, it creates this huge wave of energy that you're giving out,
Mhm.
which is kind of
Mhm.
like a boomerang. Like you're throwing so many boomerangs out, but all those boomerangs are going back to you. That's why you have all these synergies, which is
Mhm.
really cool. And it's not like it's strategy, it's just
Mhm.
happening constantly. And isn't that a fascinating thing? How living a creative life, living your passion, just pulls in more passionate people, more creative people, and it makes you feel like you don't want to stop. You want to keep going and going, and it just doesn't. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? You're working a job that is your passion. So, but at the same time, it's higher purpose. If you've never serve somebody else in whatever capacity, serve food, served in terms of helping somebody or someone who's sick, you'll never understand what that feels like and how much you want to keep doing it. Not just because it feels good, but because ang sarap magbigay, di ba?
Mm.
Ang sarap to
Yeah.
like keep passing it on, right? And sharing the
Yeah.
knowledge, sharing your ideas. And you can see that it creates this domino effect with other people and they start sharing it, sharing the stoke, sharing the love. And the universe, God, blesses people that serve, that share, that go for the things that make them really happy and that make them really excited and alive. What are other things that you're excited for? Like, what are ideas, places, food that you want to try somewhere around the world that excites you at this moment?
I guess I am excited to being a dad for our son Finn. I want to be good at that. I want him to be his own person. Then I guess we we want to share our life with him. Maybe we can go to Amsterdam and just go to the market and then go back to our Airbnb and cook, or just go down the park and have a little picnic. I guess that's the beauty of being in Dubai because you're in the middle of the world. I guess I want to go to Italy. I've
Mm,
never been. I want to meet someone along the way, and I just want to immerse myself in their house or in their town. Last year was it? I met this Mexican chef and at a food convention in Spain, and then we just clicked. He's like the older version of me, and grabe, I really look up to him. He speaks really well. He's so passionate. Yeah, I want to go to places like that, where it's not just the place; it's also like who's there and what you're gonna learn and experience.
that's super cool, man. Take your family to these places and live life, but also learn, immerse, meet new
Mm-mm,
people. And
mm-mm.
what is it like living in Dubai now? I know that you go back and forth, from Manila and Dubai, but it's a huge contrast to living in the Philippines. And I'm
Mm.
curious, what are the things you like about it? What are the things that keep you inspired there in Dubai?
It's a global city. I guess as a Filipino chef that wants to share Filipino food to the world, that's the place because it's so dynamic, it's so diverse. People are so open-minded. Though it does get lonely because it's just Camille and I and now Finn. But I guess that's our world. I know there are a lot of Filipinos, but at the end of the day, we serve for a living, we cook for a living. So at the end of the day, we just want to keep to ourselves and just
Mm-hmm.
recharge. So in a way, it's because, syempre, like here in the Philippines, you have your family, you have your friends, your close friends, or longtime friends. So parang you kind of miss that in a foreign country. Also, I miss the trees, I miss the rain.
It's a good balance, right? The going back and forth. You
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
you're in Manila for a bit, then go to Dubai, so you get in a way the best of both worlds before it
yeah.
gets too familiar. Na, okay, like,
Yeah,
parang grind is there, but then okay, let's go back home. Let's go back to
yeah,
Dubai.
correct. Yeah, well said, man.
We both lived abroad when you were young. How different is it, your experience living abroad, to
Mhm.
now that you're with your family living in Dubai? What do you notice are the differences in terms of being able to assimilate? Because it's really difficult to live abroad. I mean, it's really, people don't understand how hard it is because you're basically resetting your life. And at the
Yeah,
same time, the people around you. So, like, what differences have you observed from your life before and your life now?
I guess now I can assimilate faster because there's a little bit more experience and also been around in a way. And so I use those experiences through the years to how I live my life now. I guess I'm just more resilient. I'm more flexible and I know what's good and what's not good for me. So so sometimes I just keep to myself or just with Camille and yeah, just stay put.
So knowing your boundaries na rin, not conforming.
A lot of people, they invite you, but just so tired. So yeah, I guess age or experience gives you that wisdom, like what you said.
Is that what drew you to camping? I mean, I've been seeing a lot of your content about camping trips. I know there are different kinds of camping, but what drew you into those?
I guess it's just like how we did, Hungary, where it's surf and cooking. This time naman it's the outdoors and cooking. But the similarity, Nix, is it's such an uncontrolled environment. Nothing is always the same. Yes, we do have a mobile kitchen, but that mobile kitchen doesn't have the same like terrain all the time. Those little things matter. And yun nga, it makes discarte. I like to adapt. I guess I find it boring if it's the same banana. Camping gives me that.
It's like you're recreating the kitchen and the outdoors so that you can have new challenges. Adapt and learn, diba? And enjoy.
Yeah.
That's super cool, man. Parang natural progression lang, diba? And who knows? You don't know what it's gonna be like 10 years from now. Like what kind of things you're gonna be into, what will spark your creativity, what will feel challenging, diba? And you're into F45. I've tried that a bunch of times. It's a great workout, man. Why are you into that?
The core reason is when I did a session in Tokyo. Most of the executive chefs in Mandarin Tokyo, they go to F45. So they invited me. And I wake up at around 9, 10 average AM. So I had to wake up at 5. Anyway, it was such a good workout that I was so pumped and stoked after, and it felt so good. And then I would always look at those chefs. If they can do it every day or every other day with their 10, 12 hour shifts because they have the discipline, I have to do it. So then I continued it in Dubai. Then I continued it here in Manila. I don't really like running, but I've been running. I've been
There's
running
a
for the past 5 days now.
there's something about being active and physical that you need it, diba? Even if you're doing physical work in the kitchen, it's not enough. You need to move that body to the point of exhaustion, to
Yeah.
empty the mind and
Yeah.
the thoughts, the
Yeah.
emotions. When you don't work out, a lot of stuff gets stuck. You're not able to release things that are heavy or the things that feel a bit blurry, diba?
Yeah. Just sometimes you just got to loosen up and, break a sweat. In relation to that, last night I was in the kitchen here at my in-laws house, and the other day because I vlogged it, and that was the vlog I uploaded earlier. Anyway, my point is yesterday we were cooking. I was cooking with the team, and I didn't vlog it because parang I was just enjoying the the act of cooking. Such a nice release. Though the downside is it took me forever. Camille's like, wow, what took you so long? Because I was actually also teaching at the same time. But
Yeah.
imagine if I vlog pa siguro double. When I say double, double the time. So yeah, those things, man. I guess those I don't really cook as much, to be quite honest. Because I'm like juggling multiple things. And yesterday was fun.
Simple, fun, just
Yeah,
hanging out and cooking, diba?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the simplicity. It becomes attractive when a lot of things are happening. That's something I tell myself, friend, and with my partner, we talk about save some for yourself, friend. Not everything needs
Huh.
to be shared. I've been really into like Tibetan Buddhism lately,
Mm-hmm.
and they talk a lot about the
Uh,
afterlife is the next life. So
uh-huh.
be present. You're not taking anyone with you, but sometimes you just gotta exist. Be with your loved ones. Be really, really present. I feel like that's so rare, and not looking at your phone, not worrying about the future, just be there. My friend was saying, that moment when you maybe looking at the ocean and you just space out. Actually, really, really present when you space out. Because you're not
Mhm.
thinking, you're not feeling, you're just there. And at the end of your life, don't you want to remember being really just in the moment and not worrying about stuff or planning too much? It's an existential thing. Eh? There is that life component of acting, but parang just a few moments of saving it for yourself lang. Diba? Parang, I'm gonna cook with my family, with my friends. I'm just gonna hang out with my dog, and I'm just gonna be here, because
Mhm.
life is fleeting, everything is changing. I want to make the most of this, right? A lot to achieve in the world, but the little things are the ones that really make you feel like, wow, like so grateful to be alive and I get to experience this.
What are your like little moments?
These days,
Yeah.
well, we live abroad, and there's something about not understanding the language wherein it feels isolating, but at the same time, there's beauty in being anonymous. No one knows you. You don't understand what they're saying. Parang you're not taking
Mm.
in energy of gossip or
Mm.
emotions. You're just there. I
Uh-huh.
think that created a lot of space. Just being able to walk into the pool area and have a conversation with a stranger. What's your story? Those are
Uh-huh.
cool moments, man. I've been really into matcha like the past 2 years. It's a rabbit hole, man. I never knew it's like weed.
Uh,
Like they have different strains, different modes of preparation. I make my matcha at home too, and it's really a ritual. It really feels like wow.
Uh-huh.
It takes time. Put the
Wow.
powder, use the whisk, and to
Uh-huh.
drink it, Ren, and be there. I'll go take a ride to buy something. And then on that ride, I realized, wow, you get this insight so beautiful that we get to live this life. We're in a new place, in a new city, and know anybody, but we're creating new memories. And I think that's what's cool, knowing that choosing to live a different life. And I want to keep living a different life, not to stay in one place. It's exciting, man. It can get scary. You can get into your head, but action lang eh. That's why I resonate with what you said kanina. Like you have to take action. And I think seeing a kid grow up, because we don't see ourselves get taller. Eh. We don't see our faces change much. But when you see a
Uh-huh.
kid seeing the change of their face, their body, parang you realize na, wow, like time is moving fast. It makes you
Huh.
realize, man, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Like really just enjoy the moment, diba? I keep getting that wake up call constantly. Like, don't waste your time. Do the things you love.
Mhm.
Say I love you to the people you love. It's a strange thing, but it's a really cool thing to be experiencing this kind of life. Really appreciating small moments, but also having big dreams, not conforming to the bandwagon effect of people just playing it safe. Trying to find our tribe, Bren, to
Mm.
feel like, hey, just do crazy stuff. Live wherever you want. Raise your kids the way you want to raise them. Live as authentically as you can. Because, dude, we're not letting any younger, man.
No.
It's
Well
really like,
said.
just really happy, man. Just very grateful. It's nice to see where all the things you've been experiencing and grabbing life with everything that you've got and just embracing it. Not a lot of people live this way. Most people play it safe, man.
Yeah.
We want our kids to live even more fearlessly and more unapologetically to like go for the things they want. Do not play small, dream big, and really pursue them and live happy, excited lives.
Yeah. I guess also, the balance from our partners. Neil is the opposite of me. Having that sweet spot to live life.
It's gonna be a wild, exciting ride. I'm excited for your journey to unfold, man.
Thank you
Dude,
for all the
really,
beautiful things you said.
dude, thank you too, man. It's been nice just reconnecting again after a long time. Yeah, hopefully we'll cross paths, man, somewhere in the world.
Yeah, for sure. It's a small world after all.
The Nick Daez Podcast.